If you've been keeping up with anything related to Ninjago recently, then you'll know about the unintentional release of all 10 episodes to the second part of Season 2 of Dragons Rising. This happened on Peacock initially, where the episodes were up for quite a number of hours, and people got a hold of all of it. Several people posted every episode to YouTube, so a lot of people have already seen the entire thing, in spite of LEGO striking down any that they could find. So now that the damage is already done, it's gonna be interesting to see how LEGO handles the advertising and release of Season 2 Part 2. I, of course, watched it first chance I got, because if everyone's seeing it, then everyone's posting about it, and that means spoilers. But talking about the episodes themselves, they're actually really good. In my opinion, this is probably some of the best work we've seen from Ninjago in a long time. The whole premise of it, the action and the animation and the handling of the characters were all really amazing. I'm going to give my opinion on specific parts of it, so if you want to avoid spoilers, if you haven't seen it yet, then don't watch this part. Of course, one complaint that I have, that I've seen pretty much everyone who's watched it have, is that Jay does not get really any screen time. He's in one episode for one fight in the tournament, and that's all. After previous episodes of Dragons Rising, and Dragons Rising as a whole, I really would have liked to see more of Jay, because we're 40 episodes in and we've only gotten a couple minutes of one of the main characters, one of the main ninja, but I personally think that once they actually get to Jay in the show, it's gonna be pretty good. I don't think they're gonna leave Jay out of the majority of the show. We're only on Season 2, and I don't know how many seasons we're actually gonna get of this, so I'm hoping that we get to see a lot more of Jay and him interacting with the other characters, because so far he has only actually talked to Bonzel and Nia. Now, when it comes to Sora, there's a lot of really good character growth. You see her go from the first season, in which she doesn't think she has an elemental power and she doesn't know how to use it, and she's very down on herself and very negative. But with this season, we actually get to see her be very enthusiastic and very skilled when it comes to using her power. I was actually really happy and really impressed to see that she won the Tournament of Sources, because I think that spotlights how much she's grown as a ninja. And as for her best friend, Arin, we got to see him go in pretty much a completely different direction from where he started. And I think that's really interesting, because I see him being a possible villain in this story. But I'm not entirely sure, because the only reason we see him working with Roz is because he thinks that Roz will be able to help him find his parents. So we don't actually know if he's going to be partnering up with him or anything like that. But you do actually see little kind of bits of red in his spinjitzu that really kind of resembles Shatter Spin, which I think is really interesting, because it kind of gives off this feeling that he's being corrupted somehow. So maybe he will be a villain, maybe he won't. But I have also seen people talking about how he could be Lloyd's Moro, and what that means is Wu's first student, the one that he really kind of messed up with, was Moro, and he turned on him and became evil, and we're kind of seeing this same sort of resentment from Arin towards Lloyd, and Arin and Sora are essentially Lloyd's first students. But I find it pretty interesting how Sora and Arin's dynamics pretty much switch from the first season to the end of the second season, because Sora is very enthusiastic and very engaged in being a ninja and working on her powers and working with Lloyd and the other ninja, whereas Arin started off really, really thrilled that he got to meet the ninja and start training as one, and now we see him almost turning on the ninja because he kind of thinks that they're not doing a good job with training him, specifically Lloyd, because within just a few moments of Arin talking with Frack about Roz's teachings, Arin actually does a full spinjitzu tornado. And that's when he kind of starts to realize that maybe the ninja aren't training him right, that maybe Lloyd isn't the best teacher. And then with Roz, we have this very interesting kind of revelation that he is trying to stop the merge, and it's pretty clear that that's probably not the whole truth that he's telling Arin, but he is right about the fact that Master Wu actually caused the merge. Wu's ghost or spirit or whatever confirms it in the monastery, and that is another big reason that we see Arin kind of resenting the ninja and wanting to side more with Roz, because he thinks that he's stopping the thing that split him from his parents, and he's very upset finding out that the ninja's mentor was actually the one who caused the entire thing in the first place, which is the reason that his parents are missing. We also get to see more of the friendship between Cole and Geo, which is a really fun part of the show. But we also get introduced to a number of new characters, most of which are the elemental masters of new elements that were created by the merge. And the main one is Frack, a friend of Arin's, his best friend before the merge happened, and he's now the master of Quake. And I actually think he's a really good character. In spite of him being with Roz, he's really kind to the ninja, he's really kind to Arin, and he obviously isn't fully aware of Roz's intentions. And I think one of my favorite scenes of his was when he was having his fight with Sora, and Roz wanted him to put on the wolf mask, and Frack refused, and it cost him the fight. But it's really telling of his character that he would take Arin's word and not risk being corrupted, even if it meant him going no further in the tournament. Then there's Roby, the games master, who I didn't really like at first, but he actually really grew on me throughout the episodes. I find it very nice that his entire goal is to really make the tournament entertaining and energetic. Towards the end of the show, we get Kai's return from the nether space, which was probably my favorite part of the entire thing. His entrance was amazing. His fight with Noct was really well animated. It was probably one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen from Ninjago. I'm also a really big fan of the fact that this part of the show focuses, with Nia, it focuses more on her relationship with Kai as siblings rather than just her relationship with Jay, because when it comes to Nia, we usually see just a lot of things with Jay, and it kind of feels like Kai was kind of sidelined as someone that Nia was very close with. So I really liked seeing them reunite and seeing them fight together. And I felt like the line that they gave to Kai for his entrance was really strong. which was "Don't touch her, that's my sister." And then he starts fighting Noct like he's nothing. And then, of course, we got to see some returning characters. We got to see Paleman, the Master of Light, and Tox, the Master of Poison. And although he doesn't have any dialogue or anything, we also get to see Neuro very briefly, Master of Mind, in one of his battles. And the final thing I want to mention is with Lloyd, his leadership skills in this part of the season really shine through. He did a great job, like, really keeping the team together and mentoring Arin and Sora, especially Sora. And I think now with Master Wu being gone, he's really coming into his role as, like, the team leader, which is something that the show has talked about multiple times, but we've never actually really gotten to see it as much as we did with these 10 episodes. All in all, I think these were some of the best Ninjago episodes I've ever seen. The new elements were really cool. Seeing the old elemental masters was really amazing. And I think it really took the premise of the Tournament of Elements and turned it into something of its own that was a really cool tradition. The battles were amazing, the characters were very well handled, and part 2 of season 2 of Dragon's Rising is just really fun to watch, and it's really fun to rewatch. And I know the early unintentional release of part 2 was really kind of a bummer for some people, but I really enjoyed it, and I know it's going to be a long time before we get any new Ninjago episodes, but I'm feeling pretty happy about what we've got so far, and when it releases officially in October, I'm definitely going to watch it again. So, that is all for now.